The remains of a person who has been dead for more than 50 years were exhumed from a Wrentham cemetery today. The hope is investigators can learn more about the unidentified person through DNA testing. NBC 10's Bianca Beltran live in Wrentham with details on this. Bianca.
Well, Corey, for decades, a grave under that green tent over there was marked only by a number. So cemetery staff made it their mission to learn more about the person who was buried there. And they learned that how they died also remains a mystery.
So you can see there's a lot of different stories on the cards. Tells you who they were married to, how many kids they had.
One card stood out to Center Cemetery Manager Ray Rose because it had very little information, marked simply unidentified adult skeleton, interred in 1976.
I don't like the idea of somebody being interred here with no knowledge of their life or their story or their family. The history, nothing.
He searched newspaper archives and found 2 years earlier, in 1974, hikers found a skeleton in the woods near Franklin Street. Fred True was the Wrentham Police Department photographer at the time and remembers vividly what he saw at the scene.
There was a noose from a tree, and the skull had separated from the torso, dropped straight down underneath the noose, but it was on a slight hill, so the skull rolled down the hill. Mother Nature and animals picked the bones clean, so there was nothing left.
Investigators at the time determined the skeleton belonged to a white man about 5'8" and had been there about 2 years. After bringing this mystery to the attention of the Wrentham Historical Commission and State Representative Marcus Vaughn, the remains were exhumed Monday for DNA testing.
They were obviously robbed of a full life, robbed of the privilege of having a family and, retiring and so forth. So I'd like to see that they didn't get robbed of everything, which would include nobody knowing who they were and where they ended up.
Now, this process actually dug up another mystery. When cemetery staff went to refill the grave, they said they found what appeared to be another skull, loose teeth, a plastic bag, and a pill bottle, items that they've turned over to law enforcement for further investigation. Reporting live in Wrentham, I'm Bianca Beltran, NBC 10 Boston.